A silent divine soul, Mirabai. Mirabai, an Indian princess belonging from a Rajputana royal family who lived in the North Indian state of Rajasthan. She was a follower of Sri Krishna and one of the foremost exponents of the Prem Bhakti and an inspired poetess. She was also a spiritual aspirant of love through her consistent, deep, and immense love, emotions, devotions, and dedication, and attained perfection her Krishna Bhakti. We can analyze the charismatic and silent divine saintly personality of Saint Mirabai and learn few lessons from her life in true essence such as dedication, devotion and commitment, eternal love and maintaining inner peace and consistent effort by seeking and realizing the truth of the life of getting enlightenment through divinity in a magnitude of human struggle within the social environment and in a period of social, religious, and cultural conflicts. As a saint and poetess in the medieval period, she was the first woman to reflect upon humanity, nature, and God in creativity unity. As a divine and peaceful soul, she was the first to locate diversity and disharmony between man and nature. She felt empathetic and expressed her sorrow for human laws, customs, traditions, and human violations since her childhood until her last breath. In spite of belonging to the Rajputana royal family and getting married to Bhojraj, and remaining in a magnitude of human struggle within the social environment. Mirabai is considered to be the first woman saint of Bhakti movement in the history of Indian religion. Mirabai's dedication, devotion and commitment, eternal love for her Krishna by maintaining inner peace, harmony and putting forth her consistent effort by seeking and realizing the truth of life and attained enlightenment through her consistent divinity and in a magnitude of human struggle within a period of social, religious and cultural conflicts. Mirabai, as a saint and poetess in the medieval period, was the first woman to reflect upon humanity, nature, and God in creative unity. Divine Mira always felt empathetic and expressed her sorrow for human laws, customs, traditions, and human violations since her childhood until her last breath. Though she belonged to Rajputana royal family and got married to Raja Bhojraj, her bhakti was above all caste, creed, gender inequality. Mirabai, in spite of all the conspiracies from the mother-in-law and sister-in-law, Udabai and relatives of Rana and prosecutions in various ways and accusations, never uttered a single word of outburst. So Mirabai was a real silent revolutionary. She at a very early stage realized true purpose and meaning of her life. She realized that the relationship with God is the only element that is true and eternal. All other relationships are unreal and temporary. She followed the path of self-enlightenment to attain divinity through inner peace, devotion, dedication, and attained oneness with Lord Krishna. She tried to express her heartfelt love for Krishna and spontaneous outbursts of the pain of her heart and soul through her religious songs, dance, and bhakti. She suffered a lot on socio-cultural religious front. But through her intense, deep love, devotion, and dedication towards Lord Krishna, she finally attained salvation and the ultimate goal of life. She was an embodiment of love and innocence. The Saint Mirabai is still remembered throughout the world for her single-minded devotion to Sri Krishna and the self-realization. She sang from the core of her heart about her unique spiritual experiences, inner heart pain, and emotions. She is considered to be a silent revolutionary as, in spite of so many sufferings and pain in her personal life and social disregard, she silently endured all pain and kept on progressing onto the path of spiritualism. Her bhakti and devotion transformed a simple Rajputana princess into the only woman saint of Bhakti movement. She was the first saint to locate diversity and disharmony and re-established unity and harmony and peace through her bhakti devotion and dedication. As the first woman saint of Bhakti movement, Mirabai reflected upon humanity, peace, equality, dedication and devotion towards her God and attainment of salvation and self-enlightenment. Her life story presents a magnitude of human struggle, social struggle against her personal aspirations and attainment of her life's purpose. She felt pity for customs, traditions, laws, society, gender discrimination, but without uttering a single word against anyone, she led her life as a silent revolutionary. Mirabai's bhakti, devotion, dedication manifest an absolute sense of aesthetic beauty and a sense of quest for unison with Lord Krishna. Her bhakti songs depicts and determine the basic perception and knowledge of humanity and the values of human life. In spite of suffering on so many grounds in worldly life, she revolted through her silence and expressed her emotions into songs and hymns dedicated to the Krishna's bhakti. Mirabai's religious affinities and Mirabai's religious bent of mind, heart, and soul were found since her childhood. Mirabai's mother died when her daughter was a young child of perhaps 4 or 5 years old, with her father wrapped up in the responsibility of war. Following the death of her mother, Mirabai was sent to live with her grandparents. Her grandfather was a committed follower of the god Vishnu, so Mirabai's childhood environment was one of religious piety and early praises of Krishna. Mirabai's in-laws did not like the ways of Mirabai as they were worldly minded and jealous. Mirabai's mother-in-law and sister-in-law Udabai formed a conspiracy and began to defame the innocent Mira. The royal family also made allegations against her that the saint Mirabai, by her conduct, had brought a great slur on the reputation of the Rana family of Chittor. The ladies floated other rumors that Mira was mixing very freely with sadhus. Mira was sent a basket with a cobra inside and a message that the basket contained a garland of flowers. Mira, after meditation, opened the basket and found inside a lovely idol of Sri Krishna with a garland of flowers. The relentless Rana sent her a cup of poison with the message that it was nectar. Mira took it as his Girdhar Nagar Prasad. It was a real nectar to her. The bed of nails that the Rana sent transformed into a bed of roses. When Mira reposed on it, most legends about Mira mention her disregard for family and social conventions. Her devotion to God Krishna and her treating Krishna as her husband made her persecuted for religious devotion. Mirabai was such a religious, charismatic personality who, in spite of going through a social separation, social disregard, and social disaster, found her well-being and balanced self-control in her spiritual upliftment, which was beyond human understanding in her contemporary and even in the present times of earthly life. Her human self immensely contributes an example of how to maintain harmonious with the surroundings, social, and with the predicament that is illusory and full of duality on this earth. Mirabai denial of caste, creed, royal positions, and refusal to commit sati also reflects one of the stronger and bold parts of her character, being silent always. After the death of her husband, the hostility increased as Meera refused to commit sati. Meera resonated that the real husband is one whom one accepts by full devotion. She reinforced that since her husband is Lord Krishna, who is immortal and omnipresent, she did not require to practice sati. She also devoted her time and energies caring for the poor, which was considered as an open denial of her caste and her royal position. This activity was considered as a disgrace for a high-born princess who was expected to be secluded and aloof and pays homage to the preferred goddess of her late husband's family. Meera considered Krishna to be her divine match. Her religious fervor did not suit well with her in-laws, and when she refused to commit sati, she became more detached, frequenting the temple and discoursing with sadhus. Meera's denial of practicing sati can also be observed that she fought against the social, cultural, religious barriers that curtailed women's right to a self-chosen life. She denied all worldly responsibilities associated with a royal woman out of her respect and dedication to Lord Krishna. Maybe unintentionally, but Mirabai's struggle to live a life of her own choice made her different from all other women in her contemporary age. Mirabai's transformed her life from the worldly miseries and agonies to self-enlightenment and spiritual upliftment. She is perceiver of sentiments, penance, and sorrows that she felt on various occasions, like her mother's death in her childhood, then the death of her father, husband, Prince Bhojraj, and the death of her father-in-law Rana Sangam Singh Ji, the king of Mewar. Left this mundane world and sufferings of life and became the quester for her beloved of Lord Krishna. She consistently longed for reunion with God, the only savior in her despair, the only loving icons in her loneliness, and finally derived self-enlightenment, tranquility, gracefulness, purity, true happiness, and freed herself from worldly affairs. Her strength, poise, tolerance, and her focus churned the ills of the world. Mirabai, instead of feeling alienated and displaced, socially separated and disregarded, found her well-being, self-control, and channelized her energies in her spiritual upliftment. She liberated herself from worldly life after going through a series of miseries on the personal and social front. She realized this fact that she, being a divine soul, can't lead her life in illusions and full of duality on this earth. It shows she was a silent divine revolutionary. Mirabai's disdained, contemptuous traditions of her time and spent her spiritual journey on the street and roads of Rajasthan promoting Lord Krishna's principle and beliefs. After that, Meera went to Vrindavan and Dwarika, where she spent the last of her life. Though Meera was a strong devotee to Lord Krishna, she refused to take membership in any established sect of Bhakti schools. By doing that, Meera defied the rule of hierarchy in the Bhakti schools. She believed in no mediator between Lord Krishna and herself. Throughout her entire life, Mirabai objected to all human sects, rules that prevented her from offering admiration and devotion to Lord Krishna. She led a very simple life, though she was born and married to a stately family. Mirabai was a great messenger of divine love and devotion in the times of social, cultural, religious turmoil. Emperor Akbar and Tansen visit Mirabai as he could not restrain himself from visiting Saint Mirabai and listening to her soulful, divine, and compassionate songs sung in the immense love for Lord Krishna.